Just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
All right, here we go. Darrell Klontz, Mike Burgess have the front row. Derek Schilling and Jess Chambers on the second row. Kenny Passmore, Les Bentz on the third row. Gerald Thanos Poole and the Mark Nelson on the fourth row. Bill Hornback and Jeff Oakes round out your top 10. Rod Potgieter starting in 11th next to Jerry Bergeron in 12th. Gil Guac starting in 13th with Warren Moore in 14th. John Shermont starting in 15th. Kevin Brunner in 16th. Thomas Byram in 17th with Tim St. Jean in 18th. Kevin Hayes starts 19th. Clinton Chambers in 20th. Danny Passmore 21st next to Stephen Cabay in 22nd. Jim Wardlow 23rd. James Lacey in 24th. Don Anderson 25th. And Stuart Wright rounds out the 26th car field here at Talladega. .66 miles of high-banked, high-speed, high-excitement racing here. The fuel window, 22 to 25 laps. Now we're going to expect to see a lot of drivers stay in the draft, conserve the fuel, see what they can do at the end of this one. Expect to see groups breaking off and drop off the back here in the early going, getting back out of the danger zone to try and keep the car safe. I expect to also see these guys knowing they don't have a fast repair tonight. I expect we're likely going to see a lot more caution in the early going. Pace car is headed to pit road. It is a long drive back to the start-finish line. That start-finish line almost over at the entry to turn number 1. Darrell Klontz leads them down. Green flag is in the air. They are down and away at Talladega. It will take a lap and a half to 2 laps for all the drivers to get up to full speed here. While they're coming up to speed, the track temperature is still at 107, air temperature at 85. As we talked about in the pre-race, overheating has been an issue for some of the drivers in practice, so we're likely to see a lot of drivers who stay tucked up close, hopping out of line here and there to cool off the engines. We did see a couple of blown engines in practice. Jim Wardlow, Don Anderson starting to drop off the back here early. Stuart Wright, James Lacey, who did not qualify, starting to make their way forward. Warren Moore also up several spots already, just outside the top 10. Top 10, everybody pretty much still side by side except for those few guys off the back. as Mike Burgess has a big push on the high line. And Burgess will lead lap number 1 at Talladega. Drivers coming up to about full speed now that will be at the full momentum. That outside line, as we're seeing drivers drop to the bottom, I believe Kevin Bruner pulled out a line on the back straightaway, drops back in. And we've got one car blinking on the high line. A blinking car here at Talladega is doubly dangerous. As close as these guys are running, not seeing the car in front of you is not a good situation. But additionally, if the car is invisible, the physics of that car also are not there. So that draft you're getting off the car ahead of you, it goes away. A few drivers starting to make some moves here in the early going. Danny Passmore in the 11 car, already up 5 spots into 16th. Kevin Hayes now up 6 spots into 13th. Two by two throughout the field, back to around 20th. Then they get single file back behind as Jim Wardlow just set the fastest lap. And Kenny Passmore has lost the lead draft. He is way behind now, 8 seconds out of the pack. Darrell Claude's back in the lead for the moment, but as the tire rubber gets laid down on that high line, definitely expect that these drivers on the outside will start to build up some momentum. A lot of bobbling going on in that lead group. These cars do not have a ton of downforce out here. They are harder to drive than a cup car or a truck. Quite a bit of power, not enough downforce. They are a bit of a handful, and they are affected quite a bit by the other cars and the air around them. If you missed out last night, the Nowski Nation was at the new Atlanta Motor Speedway in these same cars, and those were a dramatic handful. As Mike Burgess back to the lead, pushed from Jess Chambers, they drop down to the bottom. Top three single file for the moment, but the outside line, whoa! Jess Chambers just shot to the high line, got a run, and he's going for the lead. Les Bentz right behind, giving him a push. Mark Nelson right there with him. Les Bentz looks to the high line. Is he going to go 3 wide? Chambers just got stuck into the sucker hole. Can he make that middle line work here? Does look like that middle line is working better than that high line at the moment. As Jeff Oakes now at 6 spots into 4th in that 30 car. Jeff was on a tear at the end of the last season and gave Mark Nelson a run for his money for that championship. And wow, things are getting a little crazy up here in the early going. Now we're 3 wide, 4 deep here. And a lot of cars moving around in the middle. One car blinking badly in the middle. This is a gutsy move, 10 laps into the race to have to be 3 wide. Now just a couple of cars out in that outside line, but Les Bentz is moving up on that high line, and more help coming from behind. And more cars going 3 wide. They're racing like it's the last 10, not the first 10 laps. That bottom line for the moment has the most cars and the most momentum. Mike Burgess out front and clear. Darrell Klotz maybe looking for an opening to hop to the high side, but can't get there. Jess Chambers right beside him. The third line now starting to fall apart just a little bit. Kevin Hayes in the 3 car up 14 spots now into 5th. Tim St. Jean up 12 spots into 6th. Clinton Chambers now up 12 spots into 8th. Now some drivers dropped to the back in the early going, and a few already charging their way forward. Kenny Passmore all alone, about a half lap back. Kevin Bruner hanging out at the tail end of the lead pack. As Kevin Hayes takes the lead. Kevin started back in 19th, takes the lead on lap 13. Big push coming from Tim St. Jean on the high line. 25 cars all within 2 seconds of each other, inches apart. A lot of drivers moving around mid-pack trying to keep the engines cooled down. And back to 3 wide out front as Kevin Hayes has led a lap and is now dropping back. Risky move trying to make that drop on the high line on through 1 and 2. Now back there hooked up with Jeff Oakes, and that third line starting to reform. Meanwhile, Mike Burgess still out front. Tim St. Jean back and forth, currently leading the high line at the moment. But that third line, having just formed up, might start making some moves here. Mid-pack, they are 3 and at places 4 wide down the front straightaway into turn 1. This is risky this early in the race. Tim St. Jean got stuck outside all alone, no help. And now Gil Guanc pulling up to Tim's back bumper is going to give him, Gil, whoa, getting a little squirrely. These cars are dramatically affected by the air around them. And one car in this lead pack keeps blinking. I believe that is Clinton Chambers up there in the mix in the middle. The 58 car. Now back to 3 wide at the front as they come off turn 2. Down the back straightaway, and Tim St. Jean gets a big push. All 3 drivers about to clear. Will they hop to the bottom? Tim heads down. He's going to bring Gil and Derek with him. And Tim St. Jean to the lead for the first time here tonight. With the push from Gil Guanc and Derek Schilling now just settling in. Mike Burgess now sitting in 4th. Gerald Thanos Poole in 5th. Top 4 single file, top 5 single file for the moment. Everybody else settling back into 2 wide. They will have to make a fuel stop here in about 5 to 10 laps. Could make things very, very interesting. Driver said 22 to 26 laps on a tank of fuel. So they're going to have to, everybody's going to be coming to pit road within about a lap of each other. It's going to be close. Could see issues on pit road here tonight. Steve Coubet now up into 12th spot after starting back in 22nd. Tim St. Jean, though, still the biggest mover, up 17 spots to the lead. Don Anderson, who was hanging out at the back in the early going, is now starting to make his way forward. Don there in the 33 car, up 11 spots. Derek Schilling now leading the outside line as they try and get some side draft off Gerald Poole. Jerry Bergeron giving the push on the high side. Got a car bobbling up on the high side. Steve Gourmets all alone in the third lane at the moment. Oh, Gourmets barely keeps it off the wall there, out of turn 2. He slides back into the second line, now back to 2 wide throughout the field. As Schilling in the outside line starting to make some momentum here. St. Jean and Gilguac still holding out front, and now Schilling slides down to the bottom line, leaving Jerry Bergeron up top in control of the high line. Schilling looked like he picked up a little momentum from the bottom line, now moves back up. Gilguac trying to defend both lines here as we've got Kenny Passmore headed to pit road. And side by side, Derek Schilling, Tim St. Jean for the lead. Mark Nelson, the defending champ, currently sits in 8th. Whoa! Clinton Chambers just about got bumped. He gets down to the apron, pulls it back up. Great save by Chambers. They're 3 wide in the middle of the pack as everybody settles back in. A very close call there. Just about a lap and a half more to go, and everybody will be able to go the distance on their fuel. Does not look like anybody is coming in this time. They are all going to try and stretch it. So we could see all 25 cars hit pit road together next time. Jim Wardlow came in. Jim Wardlow in by himself, no drafting help. That could be catastrophic. Lead pack starting to break up just a little bit, 3 wide in the middle of the pack. It does look like drivers are trying to get set up and ready to come in. And here we go. The first drivers are headed in. Oh, we've got a wreck on entry. Mike Burgess is around. Gilguac is around. Daryl Klotz catches a piece of it. They're out of the racing surface. No caution. Rod Podgeter, Mark Nelson stayed out. Jeff Oakes, Gerald Poole, John Shermott, Stuart Wright, Jess Chambers, Kevin Bruner, and Kevin Hayes all stayed out. That might have saved them. Jeff Oakes and Gerald Poole just a little ways behind Podgeter and Nelson as they come back around. And here they come. No! Yep, Mark is coming in. Potgieter is in. Oaks and Poole both in. Close calls for them, but no issues. The rest of the field is headed in. Tim St. Jean on his way out. Some of these drivers may be very, very close on fuel. Let's see if we can see what happened on pit road entry. Watching Derek Schilling it. Oh, it looked like the 41 just got bumped. Claude just gets a bump as he comes across the nose of Gerald Poole. Several cars get bumped, turned around, but quickly recover. But the time loss here could be catastrophic. Kevin Hayes has also had a problem and towed to pit road. Let's see what happened there. Looked like Kevin may have had heavy damage on... Whoa! Jess Chambers also ended up, he was caught in that. Let's see if we can take a look at Kevin Hayes' pit road entry. Looks like Kevin had already been hit, might have been mixed up in that initial incident. So as everybody comes back up to speed, some of these drivers may be close on fuel. Rod Potgieter out front, Mark Nelson in second, Jeff Oaks in third, Stuart Wright in fourth, Gerald Thanos Poole in fifth, Kevin Bruner in sixth, Tim St. Jean in seventh, Jerry Bergeron in eighth, Jason Shermott's back behind in ninth, Derek Schilling on his way in 10th. Steve Cabay, Warren Moore, Bill Hornback all together, James Lacey right behind. We'll start to see some of these smaller groups pick up cars, reform, and close in on that lead pack, especially if the leaders continue to battle. Rod Potgieter out front for the first time tonight with Mark Nelson giving the push. Jeff Oaks, Stuart Wright side by side for third at the moment. Great job by Tim St. Jean in that mix. He managed to avoid all the chaos as they came to pit road and maintained enough pace. With a quick enough pit stop, he was able to get back with the lead pack. Only a few drivers taking 4 tires on that stop, mostly 2-tire and fuel-only stops as the Mark Nelson goes to the lead. Now Jeff Oaks coming back underneath. He is going to try and take the lead for the first time tonight as well. Jeff Oaks and Mark Nelson finished season 1 out with quite a battle. And not surprised to see the two of them side by side battling here tonight to start the second season. caution is out for the first time tonight. Caution is out on lap 30, 20 laps to go. Warren Moore and Steve Kubay involved. Clinton Chambers also involved as well as Les Benz. Let's see what happened. Oh, look like a bad bump at the front. Oh, the 19 just getting under the 47, and Warren Moore goes for a spin. And everybody trying to check up to avoid it, and even more chaos, but fortunately, minimal damage for Clinton Chambers. Hey, good evening, Russell. How are you, buddy? This does help those drivers that were close on fuel. Likely to see a lot of drivers hit pit road top off. But it does look like everybody, well, the top 7 appear to be staying out. Kevin Bruner in 8th leads the rest of the field in. Will we see yet tire changes underway as well? That could play out. Mark Nelson, Jeff Oakes, Tim St. Jean, Rod Potgieter, Stuart Wright, Gerald Poole, Bill Hornback, Clinton Chambers stays out. Now Les Benz also staying out. And the drivers that came in, the vast majority, are taking 4 tires and fuel. And Russell, when you get back to racing, you'd be a good fit with this group, buddy. And don't forget, right after this race, Angie will have the HTSAI Community Convoy. They are getting started trucking as we speak. You guys can tune in. She'll be live. All the fun, the hilarity. If you need a laugh, it's a great way to get one. Mike Burgess, Derek Schilling rolling off pit road. Kenny Passmore is back on pit road. Waiting to see, because we've got a few drivers. Thomas Byram now a lap down. Daryl Claude's now a lap down. Jim Wardlow. Hey, good evening, Sketch. I'm doing great, buddy. How are you? You going to convoy tonight? Looks like Kevin Hayes, Gil Guac, and Don Anderson are officially out of the race. Lights are out on the pace car. They stack back up side by side with Mark Nelson and Jeff Oakes on the front row. Tim St. Jean, Rod Potgieter on the second. Stuart Wright, Gerald Poole on the third. Clinton Chambers, Bill Hornback, Kevin Bruner, and Jess Chambers round out your top 10. Even better, Sketch. I do believe the Unicorn has the convoy set up and going now. Oh, I'm sorry, Sketch. Pace car is in. They have the long drive back to the start-finish line. We'll have about 16 laps to go. The aggression about to crank up. Green flag back in the air. 16 laps to go at the line. Jeff Oakes pulls ahead into 1 and 2 with the push from Tim St. Jean. It will take him a lap or so to get these cars back up to full speed. Rod Potgieter and Mark Nelson trying to push forward on the outside. Gerald Poole closing back up. Stuart Wright, who started dead last on the field tonight, is now up 20 spots into 6th. Kevin Bruner, who dropped to the tail end early in the race, kept himself out of trouble. He is now making his way up into the top 10. Jerry Bergeron is, we've got a car way loose. They are wrecking in 1 and 2, no caution. Now the caution is out. A bunch of cars caught up. We did say the aggression about to kick back up. Probably, Sketch. Les Benz got loose off the track, came back up, bumped the 19, and then it all popped off from there. Nobody was behind, was safe. Thomas Byram got the car woed up and almost made it through. James Lacey just slides down the track and finds him. And that will take out several more drivers. Danny Passmore towed to pit road. And likely to see Steve Coubet is now towed to pit road as well. Yeah, Richie, that does happen. I'll double check, Sketch, but I believe we are free Monday. With no fast repairs for the drivers, we're going to see several more off pace and several out of the race here as more and more head to pit road. Kenny Passmore is in, Les Bentz is in. That is a pretty good definition there, Sketch. A lot of cars on pit road, hoping a lot of them will be able to get back out. Jim Wardlow, Steve Coupe, Danny Passmore in. Les Bentz, Kenny Passmore, Darrell Klotz, and Mike Burgess also in. Significant damage. Still 15 cars, though, out there on the lead lap in that lead pack. James Lacey in 15th coming back out, but I don't think Lacey is going to be at full speed. Now it's just about mitigating the damage and getting some points to start the season. No, Richie. Just no. Jeff Oakes and Tim St. Jean on the front row. Mark Nelson, Rod Potgieter on the second. Stuart Wright, Gerald Poole on the third. Bill Hornback, Jess Chambers, Jerry Bergeron, and Clinton Chambers round out your top 10. Folks, don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and the YouTube. We have a lot of shorts and reels. I spent the afternoon working on race shorts, trucking shorts. We've still got a bunch to upload. We'll have a few from tonight. A lot more content coming. And a lot of streaming coming Saturday as well, trying to get to a point where we can do a lot more streaming again. Lights are out on the pace car as they get ready to go back racing. We'll have about 11 laps to go when the green flag drops here. Pace car heads to pit road. They are inside the restart zone. Green flag back in the air. 11 laps to go at the line. Mark Nelson able to quickly shoot down to the bottom line. Gerald Poole coming up from behind. Tim St. Jean leads the high line. Clinton Chambers had a problem on the restart. Clinton up on the high side as they head down into turn. Oh, just comes across the nose of, I believe, Derek Schilling, trying to get down to the bottom line. A heartbreaking way for his race chances to end. Jeff Oakes and Mark Nelson lead the bottom line. Tim St. Jean, Rod Potgieter leading the high line. Daryl Klotz has gone back to pit road. Jerry Bergeron now back up in the mix as well. Kevin Bruner now back up in the top 10. Derek Schilling lurking right behind. Does not look like Schilling got any damage from that incident a moment ago. He is not out of the fight yet as they pack back up. Nine laps to go here at Talladega. Anything could still happen. A big push from Mark Nelson as Jeff Oakes out front as they come down the back straightaway, but that high line on the straights is the fast place to be as Tim's, holy cow, Potgieter almost lost it on entry into 3. Great save by Rod holding on to that car. Cars still moving around. The top 2 have gotten clear of traffic for the moment, but the momentum goes to the high line off turn 2. Mark Nelson moves up to the high side. He may get stuck in the middle. He did, and Tim St. Jean clears into the lead with the push from Potgieter. Oh, close, big one into 3. Caution is back out. Rod Potgieter, Jeff Oakes, Jerry Bergeron, Mark Nelson, all involved. Mark Nelson there in the middle, Potgieter coming down. Looks like they were bump drafting off into the turn. One bad bump. Mark went down, picked up, and turned everybody. And Potgieter, multiple hits. Jeff Oakes hard into the outside wall as well. Jerry Bergeron also into the outside wall. That has sent Jerry Bergeron, Rod Potgieter, Mark Nelson, and Jeff Oakes to pit road. Their chances just ended. But Tim St. Jean, Gerald Poole, Jess Chambers, Stuart Wright, Derek Schilling all survive and advance into the top 5. Some of these guys barely skating through that mess. Derek, you did make it. Let's see if we can watch that one more time, but Keep an eye on Derek Schilling and the other cars. Kevin Bruner on the bottom, Schilling up top. I do not know how Derek Schilling made it through that. Great driving by Derek. It's a good thing Schilling is wearing the brown pants today. Still have 10, 11, 12-ish cars on the lead lap, but it looks like the top 10 are be the only ones left undamaged. Minor damage throughout, as we see Bill Hornback's got some damage on the back end of that car. Schilling somehow unscathed. Stuart Wright makes it through that unscathed. Gerald Poole, Jess Chambers, and Tim St. Jean all survive. We are about to have a very wild 4-lap battle for the win here. Lights are out. With 5 to go, they will get the green at 4 laps to go. And a lot of times, the restarts here can be a huge deciding factor. Tim St. Jean will be in control. He cannot get too far ahead of the pack, or they will come flying by him as they come out of turn 2. You have to time everything just right. Tim St. Jean definitely does not want to be sitting where he is on the restart. The best bet, Jess Chambers, Stuart Wright, that second row, those are the guys in the best position right now. Gerald Poole, I've watched race for over 3 years now. He definitely knows how to get it done in these type of races, in the draft, playing with the air. It has been a long time since we've seen Thanos in victory lane. Could tonight be the night? Anything can happen in 4 laps here at Talladega. Darrell Klotz has just come off pit road, may be a factor as they come up to speed. Here we go, green flag, back in the air. 4 laps to go. Remember, a lap and a half to 2 laps before they're at full speed. Tim St. Jean gets his restart, nailed it perfectly. The outside line, still having to build up some momentum. That bottom line starting to pull a gap. But out of turn 2, Gerald starts pulling forward. Jess Chambers hops to the high line. Stuart Wright briefly thought about going 3 wide. Thought better of it for the moment. Kenny Passmore, who lost the draft on that first run, is back on the lead lap, and in 12th, he is back in the fight. Three laps to go. It is still anybody's race. 12 cars in this lead pack, all in contention. Coming back down the front straightaway. Remember, the start-finish line almost in turn one. Here we go. 2 laps to go at Talladega. Back down the back straightaway, that outside line led by Jess Chambers trying to make a move. Just almost clear into turn 3. Can't get enough of a run yet. Derek Schilling on the bottom and the inside trying to find a way around. Tim St. Jean still holding everybody at bay for the moment. White flag is in the air one more time around at Talladega. Who's it gonna be? 12 drivers left in the fight. St. Jean out front, big push from Schilling. Out of turn 2, Jess Chambers on the high side, getting the push from Gerald Poole. They're dead even. Outside line pulls ahead into turn 3. Schilling, big push. They are dead even coming out of turn 4. Now St. Jean has a nose ahead, but it's a long way to the start-finish line. And here they come at the line. It's going to be Tim St. Jean pulling off the win at DEGA. Derek Schilling coming home in second. Jess Chambers holds on to finish third. What a race this one turned out to be. Came down to that last lap and Tim St. Jean's perfect restart. Let's see if we can talk to some of our top 3, starting with second place, Derek Schilling. Hey, Derek, that is one move we'll not see again.
That's one move I can never replicate again.
Probably not, but man, that was the move that got you onto the podium tonight. You managed to avoid all that. It was lucky and very, very close, but you got the job done.
Yeah, I thought I kind of screwed myself earlier trying to side draft and got into Darrell and kind of screwed myself and got up into the wall, got some damage, got some cautions at the right time, and it really ended up helping me out at the end.
Oh, it definitely did. It kept you out of trouble and put you where you needed to be. An epic save in that wreck in turn 3. Huge help, and what a way to start the season, man. Congratulations.
Oh, thanks again. I run with Tim in other leagues, so I was like, well, I'm just going to stick to his bumper. If I get a chance, I'll pop out, but if I can't, I'm going to stick to it. And going down the backstretch, going into 3, all of a sudden my water temp was high. I had all kinds of lights flashing red at me. I was like, well, I'm either going to blow it or I'm going to finish first or second. And it held on until the finish line.
Well, that's what matters most, man. Great job tonight. Congratulations.
Thanks, and congrats to Tim on the win, and appreciate the broadcast and everything you guys are doing. Appreciate the league. Still, best league ever.
Great job tonight, buddy. Before we talk to our winner, Kevin Bruner joined us, finished in 5th, and I know before the race you were debating where to run. It looks like you made the right call tonight.
Yeah, I chose after a few laps there. I was looking pretty crazy up front. I dropped to the back and ride, and when they first started calling out those pit stops, I was planning to go an extra lap anyways, and then they all started crashing going into the pits, and I thought, oh, I did make the right call.
It seemed like the guys that stayed out that extra lap were really the biggest winners of the night. Staying out kept you out of that big mess and kept you undamaged till pretty much the end of the race.
Yeah, I missed a couple of close calls there tonight, and normally I don't miss those, so it's how I want to start my season off for sure.
Well, man, a great job. It was a great, great start to the season. A bit of a wild one, obviously, but awesome run tonight.
Oh yeah, they're always going to be wild here. There's no doubt about it.
Definitely so. Great job and a great way to start the season off.
Yeah, thanks, Doug. I know the race winner. He'll be heading in here in a minute. He said he was going to go do his burnouts and head in here.
All right, I see him. I'll grab him. Tim, congratulations. It obviously came down to a perfect restart, and nobody could get past you.
Yeah, it was a really exciting race, Doug. I'm glad you enjoyed watching it, and my nerves are still shaking.
I can imagine. Having Derek sticking there and pushing you, he said his engine was on the verge of blowing on the last lap, but he managed to stay right on you, and it was just really enough to keep you out front.
Yeah. I was really lucky to have Derek behind me pushing me through there. I probably didn't have the car to finish first.
You definitely had the car to be up there fighting. You led a bit tonight, quite a bit of battling going on out there on track, but you were up front when you needed to be, and we saw you make some moves through the field earlier on, so a great night.
Yeah, I was really surprised when Jill Gawk got in behind me and pushed me on that third line on the outside, and how fast we got past everybody.
You guys did have a ton of momentum. I was really surprised to see that third line as fast as it was.
You and I both.
Well, man, a great way to start the season. Congratulations, Tim.
Thank you very much, Doug. It was a great race, and congrats to everybody. It was a really, really white knuckle racing for sure.
Well, congratulations. Great win, buddy.
Thanks, Doug. Take care.
Tim St. Jean pulls off the win, but folks, don't go anywhere. Angie will have the HTSAI Community Convoy live in just a few moments. All you ATS truckers out there, let's go trucking. We'll see you here shortly, and have a great evening, everybody.